We're here in Ravenna for a couple of nights only, and although it's a really interesting city, it's famous for mosaics, and it's also the death place of Dante Alighieri, one of the most important figures in the Italian language, the development of the Italian language. And we visited a lot of those historical sites and learnt about the history. What's really interesting me in Ravenna is making some compositions by wandering the streets and trying to make images in the bright sunlight, with the sunlight creating textures on the building and shapes. It's quite a challenging form of photography, and although it's nothing new, I take my inspiration doing this from other photographers. But Ravenna is a particularly appealing city to do this in because of the history, the layers of history over the centuries.
The composition elements I'm looking for are shapes made by light and shadow, and I also want to capture a moment as something moves through the scene. So a few notes on camera setup. The camera can either be on a tripod or handheld, and what I'm aiming for is underexposure. That is, I want the shadows to go quite black and the highlights to be mainly around the mid-tone, so that's my key area. I also want a high shutter speed because I want to freeze motion as something moves through the scene. As for post-production, because I'm getting it mainly right in camera, there's very little to do. It's mainly just a bit of cropping, perhaps adjust the contrast, remove any distracting elements. I will demonstrate the post-production on one of the images. Here are the before and after versions of one of the images in Lightroom. Firstly, I've adjusted the overall colour and contrast to my liking. And next, I've straightened the image so that all of the vertical lines are actually vertical. And lastly, a couple of local area corrections, or mask layers as Lightroom calls them. First, the sky has been darkened to accentuate the blue and make a feature of the sun star. And last of all, I've boosted the contrast on the two cyclists in the scene to emphasize that they are the main point of interest in this composition. I like having a photographic project while I'm traveling, and the style of this particular project is challenging, which I find really motivating. There's an old adage amongst photographers that the best photograph is the one I'll take tomorrow, and that just reminds me that there could be great photos coming.